Business Insider released a list of the 50 most innovative cities in the world, and I'm going to share with you the most tax-friendly ones among an otherwise tax-unfriendly field. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson. This is Nomad Capitalist. We're the channel and the company that helps 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where you're treated best. And for me, I understand the benefits of networking. I understand the benefits of being around people in your industry. I understand all of that. It's one reason why a large part of our Nomad Capitalist team works in offices that we have been increasingly moving from renting to buying as a place to park money, diversify our capital, and give our team a great space to work in. We're currently doing a couple renovation projects right now. So I'm all in favor of proximity. But what we have learned, especially in the last year and a half, is that there is an increasingly remote Zoom culture for doing business. And if people are working from home, what I've asked is, why do you need to be in Silicon Valley? Why do you need to be in Tel Aviv? Why do you need to be in London? Why not go where you're treated best? Reduce your taxes, reduce your cost of living, increase the amount of money you can put back into your business, you can reinvest into your company, and perhaps just improve your lifestyle, improve your mood, and make yourself more productive. So Business Insider, when I came across their list a while back of the 50 most innovative cities, I looked through a list that, like so many of these indices that I see, is filled with Los Angeles at number 5, New York, home to the world's longest urinal that you know is the New York subway, at number 4. These cities, to me, just don't work. And to me, if I'm looking at the folks that I'm talking to, they are leaving these places, and they're not simply going to Bali, the digital nomads you see on television are going to, but they are going to places where it's just a lot more affordable, it's a lot easier to work, a lot fewer restrictions, and just a better place to live. So I went through the whole list of 50 places. What stands out to me? Not Barcelona, where they have wine bars that are out of wine, but number 6, Singapore comes in, tax-friendly Singapore. So we've had a number of people recently who have been incorporating in Singapore, not because the taxes are absolutely zero, but because Singapore has pretty flexible labor laws, which allows you to be more innovative when you're starting your business. You have a culture that just is more in favor of work. Now, certainly you go to Silicon Valley, people are working plenty hard in many places. Although I did see the latest trend in Silicon Valley is just give everyone a week off in addition to everything else. Singapore has more of that hustle culture. People are hardworking. You've got a pretty friendly tax culture. You have the government that gives different incentives, not quite as many as they used to, but gives different incentives. You can get a residence permit. Unlike New York or Los Angeles, it is relatively straightforward. Not as easy as it used to be, but relatively straightforward if you're making a decent salary for you to go and innovate in Singapore. And considering the fact that Asia is the hub of so many upcoming innovations in this century, wouldn't be the worst place to be, in my opinion. So Singapore comes in at number 6. Number 27 was Hong Kong, no doubt dented from some of the stuff. They call it Hong Kong, China. It did lose 8 places, I believe, is what they said. But they mention companies like GoGoVan, Klook, Yaswit, WeLab that are in Hong Kong. We've had a presence in Hong Kong for a long time. We've been shifting away from Hong Kong a little bit recently. But amazing city to live in, certainly has been changing, still very innovative. If you still look at the culture of innovation, it is there. And so Hong Kong can be very tax friendly, like Singapore, tax rates in the teens. You can't immigrate there if you have a business. You can really prove what you're going to do for Hong Kong. That's a place that stood out to me on the list. Number 33 is Dubai. Certainly, Dubai doesn't get enough credit. Now, I think that if you're planning on going to Dubai and hiring a bunch of Americans or hiring a bunch of Germans, that's not going to be as easy. There are some there, but not as many as people might think. I think people think that like everyone's in Dubai. You have some Australians, you have a few Americans, you have Russians, and you have a lot of folks from Asia, South Asia, Africa, what have you, with a smattering of folks from other places. So certainly I think that the hiring needs to be considered, but here's the good thing. You can bring people in from pretty much anywhere in the world if they want to move to Dubai. And so, Dubai, has companies like Careem, Souk.com, Blink Studios, according to Insider. I mean, zero tax environment, very favorable. Easy immigration, even if you run a free zone company, very straightforward. Office space is built into a lot of the free zones. So, it's an easy place for you to bring talent from where they are. You may have to bring talent in some cases to Dubai, but Zero tax plus people can get in. That seems to me pretty innovative. Imagine you're one of those companies in Silicon Valley and you're trying to hire people and you're relying on all those H-1B visas and you're always fighting for your life and people, it's just for what? UAE in favor of bringing talent in. And then number 49, Dublin, Ireland, can be tax friendly, good corporate tax rate. Your particular personal tax situation could be friendly, and they scored one above Orlando, Florida on the list. The insider mentions Accenture, Storyful, Zalando, Udemy, of course being the headquarters of a lot of companies in Europe, like the Googles and that kind of thing, LinkedIn's. And so Dublin, Ireland, I think an interesting place to work if you want to really speak English. Obviously Singapore, they speak English. Hong Kong decreasingly speaks English. Dubai, some people speak English. I mean, Dublin, of course, is the most authentic English-speaking one on this list. And for folks who come to me and say, Andrew, time zones are important, proximity to the US and Canada, proximity to our investors, proximity to our team is important, Dublin is certainly a lot closer than Singapore, Hong Kong, and Dubai in terms of both factors. So Dublin could be a good place as well. Certainly not number 6 or number 27, but at 49, it barely made the list, but it's a great city in terms of it's always been close to my heart. Personal tax incentives, corporate tax incentives, you can go, and you're mostly looking at hiring people from Ireland or from the EU. Certainly not going to be quite as favorable in terms of where you bring people in or in terms of some of the employment law stuff. But if you want that proximity, if you want that English, that could be an innovative city to consider. And so rather than going to the typical Silicon Valleys, consider these alternatives. There are plenty of other places around the world that are trying to start their own Silicon Valley or related places for certain industries. Even Yerevan, Armenia has a kind of a burgeoning tech scene where they want to be a mini Silicon Valley. Lots of those around the world, lots of tax incentives. Even some relatively high tax countries like in Europe have excellent tax incentives if you're in the tech space, if you're bringing something innovative, if you're bringing patents, if you're bringing IP. So you'll want to look at all the different options, but those are 4 cities on the insider list that stood out to me for being innovative. You don't have to go to the high tax places to see innovation. Don't stop now. We've got well over 1,000 more videos here on YouTube for you to watch and learn how to go where you're treated best. And if you want to work with Nomad Capitalist personally, go to nomadcapitalist.com/apply, learn about our unique, tried and true process, garnered over years of experience, and learn how you can become our client.